All right, gentlemen, here we are in 4.5, day 2 of 2. This is our last lesson for a bit. So sketch this parabola. First question, when I look at this parabola, I know it's stretched by a factor of 2. So if I want to get some marks right away, I can fill that in, stretched. By a factor of 2. You could write stretch a equal -2. That's fine as well. But you have to define whether it's stretched or compressed, okay? That's important. Axis of symmetry, I don't know that just yet. Vertex, I don't know. I can get an easy mark right here. I know X belongs to the set of any real number. I know my Y values are going to be Y belongs to the set of any real number, but there's going to be a limitation. I don't know what that's going to be over there yet. So I've already filled in what I can, and then it wants me to sketch this as well. Now, when I'm looking at this, I know the stretch or compression factor is -2. I know it's a stretch. It opens down because it's negative. And I see a +1 here and a -5. So I know that my roots are actually -1 and +5. Something like that. Okay. Now, if I want to find the vertex, remember the vertex lies halfway between the roots. So if I add, so that right here, X value of vertex. If I add the roots together, -1 plus 5, and divide them by 2, I get 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So the X value of my vertex is 2. So the axis of symmetry then is X equal 2. In terms of my vertex, I already know that it's 2 something. How do I find out the Y value of the vertex? The Y value of the vertex, let me see if I can squeeze it over here. Y value of the vertex. I'm just going to take my equation, Y equal X plus 1, X minus 5. Okay, and so sub in 2 for X. So I get Y equal -2 and sub in 2 for X. With a 2 here, plus 1 and 2 minus 5. I get Y equal -2 times 3 minus 3. So Y equal -2, oops, -2 times 3. -2 times 3 is -6 times -3 is a +18. So I know that that is 218. Okay, 218. Now that's a little bit high for the sketch that I'm doing. So 218, I'm just going to draw something probably way right up here. Now it'd be nice to know what my y-intercept is, because that will help me graph that a little bit better. If I want to find the y-intercept, I just have to sub in 0, right? And I can do this mentally as well. If I sub in 0 for x in the first equation, if I put a 0 there, now don't scribble over your paper. I'm just doing this to show you what I'm calculating mentally in my head. I know it's 0 plus 1 is just a 1, and 0 minus 5 is -5. So I have -2 times 1, which is -2, times -5 is +10. So I know that my axis, my y-intercept, sorry, is 10. So if that's 18, somewhere maybe here, something like that, maybe a little bit lower, somewhere like that. And I'm just going to sketch that, something like that. Maybe not the greatest sketch on that part. Try that one more time. Okay, so there we go. Okay, it's not that much better. Not so easy digitally, but I probably do that better freehand on a piece of paper. So now and we know the axis of symmetry we said was X equal 2, so that line runs through there. Again, you're going to use a ruler. I'm going to have to do this freehand, unfortunately. See if I can draw that a little bit better. Oh, goodness, that was worse. Last attempt. There we go. Now will just be x equal to that as a line. Okay, x equal 2. And the direction of opening is down or downward. And we filled out our chart except for the y values. Now we know it opens down, so the maximum value here by y is 18. So y is less than or equal to 18 because all my y values exist below that. Okay, let's look at the next question. Determine the equation in the form, and it gives us vertex form. Okay, there's vertex form. It wants vertex form of the parabola, which is good because when I look at this, it's really difficult to see what those roots are. I can't tell where that is. Is that 7/8, right? Is that negative 4 point something? I have no idea. I can't tell. But the vertex is more obvious. My vertex looks like it's -2, -4. I also noticed that it looks like I have a coordinate of 0, -2 here. So that's going to come in handy. So what it says a hint here, what points can you reasonably assume are good points? 0, -2. Okay, so determine the equation. I write y equal a bracket x, and I'm looking at the vertex, so I write +2 because it's -2, and then squared -4. Now to solve, I'm going to sub in, to solve for a, sub in 0, -2. So I get -2 equal a bracket 0 plus 2 squared -4. And I get -2 equal a times 2 squared is 4 minus 4. So this is really -2 equal 4a. We write the 4 in front of the a. Bring the -4 over, I get -2 plus 4, which is +2 equal 4a. Divide both sides by 4. 2 divided by 4 is a half. So a is equal to half. So my equation is y equal 1/2 x plus 2 squared minus 4. Not that question. All right, moving right along. The x-intercepts and the vertex of this quadratic relation are, well, looking at this right away, I could see what my x-intercepts are. They're going to be -3 and -5. So I'm looking at what I have here, and I see B has -3, -5, and D has -3, -5. So automatically A is out and C is out. I wish that was going to be the only thing I had to look at, but now I have to figure out which one of those, what the vertex is. Is it -4, 1 or -4, 9? Now, the good news is you can use some common sense here. Both of these questions have -4 as the x value. So the quickest way, again, using test strategy, would be for me to just sub in a -4 for x there and a -4 for x there. So let's do that first. Y equal negative, and put -4 plus 3, -4 plus 5. And I get y equal, so we're figuring out when x is -4, what is y is what we're trying to figure out. I've got negative, and then -4 plus 3 is -1, and then brackets +1. So technically -1 times -1 times +1. Well, -1 times positive, -1 is +1 times +1 is still +1. So the easiest way to do that is that way. And so my answer is going to be B. Okay. That's the quickest way in terms of test taking strategy. But if we wanted to figure out, there's a bit of a longer way and another assured way. You take the equation, okay? Now I know the roots are -3 and 5 and -5. So if it's -3 and -5, I'm going to add -3 plus -5 and divide by 2. And I get -8 divided by 2, which is -4. Okay, we already knew that the x value of the vertex is -4. Sub it back in and then figure out y is 1. So but you don't have to do this in this question because we can notice that both of them were given as -4 and my possible answer choices. So there was a little bit of common sense involved there. Okay, and here's a question just to test your knowledge. If you're going to sketch this, this went left 3. It's neither stretched nor compressed because there's an invisible 1 in front of the brackets there. So I know it just went left 3. There's no K value here. So therefore, it didn't go up or down either. It literally just went left 3. So 1, 2, 3, something like that. That's where it went. And my problem is basically like this, not stretched nor compressed. What is the X value? So I sketch the X intercepts are going to be technically one X intercept actually. It touches there once. Another way to determine the X intercepts is to sub in 0 for Y. Well, if I sub in 0 for Y, because at the X intercept, the Y value is 0, I get 0 equal X plus 3 squared. If I square root 0, I still get 0. If I square root the right side, the squared is gone. And I'm left with X plus 3, right? So if I square root that and square root that, I end up with 0 equal X plus 3, bring the 3 to the left, and negative 3 equal X. So I'm left with 1 root of negative 3 because it literally just shifted left. The y-intercept is different. For the y-intercept, and I'm going to label what I'm doing here. For the y-intercept, sub in X equals 0 or 0 for X. So y equal 0 plus 3 squared. Y equal 3 squared is 9. So the y-intercept is going to be 9. Now this question asked us to sketch. So I have to erase that because it wants me to write to show the 9. It's about there. So now when I'm going like this, I want to pass through that point to show that I've sketched it appropriately. I can write 9 there. It passes through 9. Maybe it should be on the left. 9. And it wants me to sketch the vertex. Well, I'll have the vertex is right there. The vertex is negative 3, 0. And the axis of symmetry. Okay, so the axis, let me erase that because that's going to be in the way. The axis of symmetry is a line that goes, down the middle. Okay, X equal negative 3 is the axis of symmetry. You could do a line with your ruler. That's really a proper line. X equal negative 3. One other point. How am I going to find one other point on my graph? Well, we do know that this is neither stretched nor compressed. That value of A is 1 in front there. So if you think about it using common sense, if I go over 1 from negative 3, so let's say I go to the right 1, then I'm going to go up 1. That means I'm at that point right there has to be negative 2, 1, because I was at negative 3, 0. If I go 1 to the right, I'm at negative 2, 1. So there's one other coordinate following that. Another option to show your work for that is you could just sub in a number close to the vertex. So I can sub in 1. So I'm going to say y equal 1 plus 3 squared, right? Sorry, I apologize. Negative 2 is what I meant to plug in. Right? Negative 2 plus 3 squared. And y equals negative 2 plus 3 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So when x is negative 2, y is 1. We figured that out. So I've got my sketch, right? Check. Did I just double check my work? Got my x-intercept? Yep. Y-intercept? Yep. Vertex? Yes. Axis of symmetry is drawn and labeled. And one other point, got it. And that's everything. All right, gentlemen. Hope that helps. God bless you. See you in class.